Hi, my name is Pascal. I'm a professional adventure filmmaker, and I've just come back from the most extreme expedition of all my life. Along with my adventure partner, Danny, we challenge ourselves to bike around Iceland. Iceland is a country that spoiled us with breathtaking landscapes, from sunsets to waterfalls, ocean fronts, fjords, cliffs, mountains, glaciers, icebergs, wildlife, canyon, and so much more. But it's also a land of extreme weather that made every single day challenging, with its cold, rain, and especially the relentless wind. And if it wasn't enough, I added another layer of challenge by deciding to film everything to create a movie and vlog series. I believe I reached a whole new level of production quality with this last expedition, and that's why I want to share with you today my tips for capturing stunning footage on your next adventure. We'll talk about gears, of course, but also about a lot of other details. I have my little checklist cards over here, and let's start with the first point, which is probably the most important way before image quality. It's about the speed. The speed, yes. When you are into an expedition, yes, you can bring a big camera like this one. And actually, I did bring this one, but that was not my main camera. I used this little guy a lot more than this one, for many reasons. Well, first of all, because it's way easier to use at any time. First of all, it's lightweight compared to this. So carrying this into your bag or anywhere you want to go. I was on a bike expedition, so it's not the end of the world to carry this, but when you have to carry it on your backpack, the space is more limited. You have to carry it on your back, so it's painful for the weight. With that, you can fit it in your pocket. It weighs almost nothing. And I'm not talking about the battery that can come with this one, the charging kit and all of that. So it's smaller, it's more lightweight, and also the stabilization. So if you just want to walk somewhere, hold it into your hand and show something where you're passing, you're gonna have something very stable out of this one. While with that one, you would need a stabilizer that would make it big like that. You will need to set it up every time. If you change the lens, you have to reset it up. If you had a microphone on top, you have to recalibrate it again. So you don't want to have a stabilizer with you on this kind of expedition. Maybe you're doing something that let you take the time for this, but when you are on a real expedition, you want something that you can use fast. And again, the stabilization on this is amazing. While when you're using something like that, it's all shaky. I did try to do a few shots with that, and when I was editing it, I was, what happened? Yeah, the image quality is great, but I don't like it because it moved too much. When you try to talk to your camera by holding it at the end of your hand like that, it's terrible. Then about the sound, again, this is a very expensive camera, but the sound that comes from the microphone that are on both sides here is just terrible. It's terrible, the sound quality you get from that. You just don't want to use it. It's just made for a reference. You never use the sound from this. While from this, you can. Actually, the sound quality is okay. It's not great like this microphone, of course, but you can totally make something out of it, while with that one, you forget it. As soon as there's a bit of wind, also, you won't hear anything of what you say. You'll just hear something like that. While with this, it correct it. It do something. It's great. Also about light. when you want to film into a dark environment. Here you would need to switch the lens to have a lens with a big aperture that can film in the dark. With that one, you're totally fine if you're under the sun on a sunny day. If it's rainy, that's fine. And when you get into a tunnel and it's dark, it's totally fine. You just have a bit of light and you have something totally usable. Surely not the best image of all your stuff, but totally usable. And actually, this is the DJI Action 5. That's a new one that I have. I made Iceland with the DJI Action 4 because the 5 wasn't released yet. And what you just saw, the 5 bring it to a whole new level. The image quality would have been way better into the tunnel. And that was already great. Now, there's also... accessories. There's something amazing. There's that bite mount that we call. And look how fast it is. Just set it like that. And I can put it in my mouth. And I have a POV. So if I want to show what I am seeing, if I want to film my partner that is just beside me, do shot with him, or just me cycling, holding the bar with all the landscape that is passing through while I'm cycling, or when I'm walking somewhere, or when I'm building up my tent, doing some stuff, I can all film that in POV. Amazing. Or there's some shot that I was filming my partner like that, and then at some point take the camera, hold it lower. I made some amazing shot with that. While with this, no, sorry, it doesn't work. I could also maybe start it while riding, but it's already more difficult because of the size and everything. And if I try to do something, that would be shaky. This correct all of the shakiness. That's amazing. There's also the factor about water resistance. That, well, it's kind of a rain resistant, but you're never comfortable to use that on the rain because, well, that's $8,000 right over here. So you more worry about breaking it, and clearly this is not as waterproof as this one, because this one you can simply put it into the water up to a few meters and there's no problem. So that's a whole other level. Also about the cost, like I said, this is a $8,000 thing when I buy it. Probably value a bit less today, but things that's the price I paid for. And this, I believe, I'm not sure, but it's like 15 to 20 times cheaper. So at the same time, if you lose it, if someone stole it to you, it's not the end of the world. This, it's less funny. So that's another point. And yeah, the main factor about this is that it's easier to use, and I really need to focus on this point, because when you are on an adventure, you already are, how to say, you're tired of what you're doing. There will be moments you will not want to film because it will be difficult. It will be difficult. So adding the filming layer is something that you will not want to do sometime. Or you will be in a race and I don't have to film this because, well, I will need to stop, drop my bike, get the camera out, put the tripod or put the stabilizer, do the shot. It will take 15 minutes. While with this one, I just pick it from my handlebar bag and yeah, I'm ready to film. I have something to say, I say it. And you see how fast it is to start filming. Actually, it's in off position, and if I press record, it is recording right now. It took 1 single second. I stop it stopped the recording, and it power off just right now. So if it's easy to start your recording, you will do the recording, and the most important thing is that you make the most shot possible. You don't care if it's not something that you will use. If you have just a little idea in your mind that, oh, maybe I can do something with this, you film it, and you never know, maybe this will be the shot of your film. Actually, there's a very good example for this. This shot. What you saw, we were in a terrible situation. That was not fun at all. Well, maybe a little bit. But it's not the kind of situation where you want to focus on filming. But because this was easy, I just had to grab it from my handlebar bag, put it in my mouth, and film. And that's the shot we get just by doing this. Because it was easy thanks to that camera. If I only have that camera, I can promise you that this shot would never happen, because I would ever take that one out in that kind of weather, in risk of breaking my camera on day 5. Well, there was still 25 days remaining. And the shot was amazing. That's, I would say, the main shot of all that expedition. Actually, it is in my intro. It's the end of my intro before my logo. And I knew when I saw that shot that that was the shot on day 5. Just because I was able to pull that out in that terrible situation. So yes, there's still use for that kind of tools. But that's clearly not the main tool you should bring with you, because that's just a minority of stuff that I took with that one. Absolutely great shots. We'll come back to this later. Second point, stabilization. Stabilization is very important. And like I said earlier, the big stabilizer for those big camera, forget about it. There's something amazing that is a DJI Pocket 3. This little camera, and actually the camera is just this little piece, have its own stabilizer, and it is small. It's amazingly small, and it's a real motorized stabilizer that you have over here. So I'm pretty sure that the sensor does have a digital stabilizer inside, but there's also that motorized 3 motor one, and that makes absolutely stunning shots. It's incredible how this very small camera can produce amazing image. If I compare it with that one, actually, of course, it's not that beautiful, but when you only use that one and you're outside, I took so many good shots with that. The sound is great, and you can also connect an external microphone if you have the time to do it. Actually, I never used that microphone in Iceland, but I would still bring it. Sometime that might be useful. But stabilization, very, very important. Never go on an expedition with a camera. Well, I mean, you can have a camera that is not stabilized for some things, but your main camera should have a very good stabilizer inside, like those two. By the way, GoPro, I just don't go with that. Don't go with that. Only trouble from my experience. I made other video about that. I will not talk about it too much into that video, but I do not recommend GoPro. Those DJI cameras are amazing. And yeah. Oh, another great things about the stabilization stuff with that camera is that because there's a motor, you can also use it to do a motion lapse. Those two cameras can do time lapse, but this one you can set a point A and a point B and ask it to turn to that point B in a certain amount of time, and that will create you time lapse. So the thing is, every time I stop and I'm here for a break because we're gonna heat, because we're gonna just take a pause, if the landscape is great or if there's anything, I can see the cloud moving or something, just drop the camera, start a time lapse, and I got amazing footage out of this. So thanks to the motor that can move, that's an amazing thing. I never used that also into Iceland, but that camera can also track your face. So if you drop the camera and want to show something, you don't have a cameraman with you, well, you can drop the camera, move around, and the camera will follow you. The cons about that is that it's a fragile camera. That's why I also bring this one, because if it's raining, the image quality of this one is better than this one. So if I'm able to use this one, I used that one prior to this one. But when I was riding, when the weather was terrible and all those things, that's the camera I was taking. And I got a lot of amazing shots with both of them. They all have their specialty. And for the size they have, I don't see the point of not bringing both. Maybe if I only had one to bring, that would be this one because it's just more versatile. But yeah, two amazing cameras. So that was about stabilization. Very important point. Before image quality. Another point about image quality is sound quality. Because even if... how did I say that? Sound is more important than image. And the proof of that is that even if I remove the image right now, you can still follow what I say because you can hear what I say. And that it's there that you realize it's the most important thing. Because if I bring back the image and you see, what I said when I cut the sound is that if you can't hear what I say, even if you see me, that's totally useless. Totally useless. So the sound quality is more important than the image quality. So try to get solution to get great quality of sound, because you may have the best image quality, but if the only thing you hear is that, and you have a hard time to hear me, maybe you will keep listening for 1 minute, but after a couple of minutes you will probably leave because it's just terrible to listen. So sound quality before. That camera cut the sound, as I said a bit earlier, make a great treatment to the audio with the wind up to a certain point.
On va avoir fait 60 km dans le vide aujourd'hui, mais on va avoir découvert des beaux petits sentiers. Là.
Ouais.
J'ai juste pas qu'on les refasse 2 fois.
That one less, but you can add a microphone like this one with the fur over it. This one can be connected over Bluetooth to those two cameras, the DJI Action 5 and the Pocket 3.
De façon à avoir accès à mes affaires quand même assez rapidement. Donc, comment ça marche? C'est que sur celle-là ici...
So this will bring you a better audio quality, but it's more complicated to use because you will not wear this all day. So at the moment you want to use it, you will have to set it up and you will pass from a recording of 1 second to maybe 15 or 20 seconds. That doesn't seem very long, but it's 20 times longer. And yes, when you have to do to do this many times in a day while you are tired. The only idea of taking this, power it on, set it on your jacket, and start filming, you will probably not do a lot of shots just because it's more complicated. So try to keep it simple. But have this solution if you absolutely need to make a shot. You have a solution. For bigger wind, there is this solution for the big camera. That's actually one of the reasons why I have this one. And if you have Icelandic wind, well, there is solution like this one. You can put, actually this microphone can go into that, but as you can see, it's very huge. And of course, I did not bring this into Iceland. There's a limit to stuff that you can carry on a bike. You already have to carry your clothes, your food, your tent, your camping gear, and all those stuff. So, and the cameras. So there's a limit. So no, I did not have it. And still, even with all the wind, I was able to do something quite amazing. Also, there's a software that I did find that if you have shots, for example, with that one that do already a good treatment, but still there's remain wind in the audio at the end, you can use a software that you can find online. Actually, that's kind of a hey, they said. It's named Vocal Remover. And you just send them the audio. It took a couple of seconds and it isolate the voice. The software is made to isolate voice in songs, so to remove instrument, but it works well with wind. So I did a lot of treatment with that. Another important point before taking a camera like this one, because it changed everything. It's really changed everything in what you can deliver if you use it well. The drone. The drone. This is a drone. This is the drone that I choose to bring with me. This is the DJI Mini 4. Yes, it's mini. This you will need to take a bit of time. But for what you will get, it's totally worth it. So yeah, you need to open it like that. And then start it, and there's the battery, and it takes time. Of course, it takes time, but so amazing shots. And that will give a lot of value to your film or your vlog or what you want to do with it. But there's a couple of important things to acknowledge. Well, okay, first, why the Mini 4? It's small, so that already helped to go on an adventure. I would like to have a bigger drone that takes better image quality, but still, this one, as you can see, already take very good image quality. But there's another reason behind this, is that this drone weight is 249 grams. And in most countries, flying object regulations start at 250 grams. So this one passed under many, many laws. So that's a fun thing. Actually, in Iceland, if I'm not wrong, that was starting at 25 kilograms. So in Iceland, that was easy. I could have taken a bigger drone, but this one was fine. One thing, when you send it into the air, before you launch, start the recording. Record everything. Maybe there's something that will happen when you are into the air that, that could be a bird that passed into your shots. If you were not recording, you don't have the shots. Maybe you will get something amazing at some moment you didn't plan to have something. So just record every time. And Also, you get very concentrated, or at least I get very concentrated on what I do when my drone is in the air, and sometimes I even forget to record. So from now, before I launch the drone, I start recording and I stop when it lands. That's it. Also, record in 60 frames per second. Because drone shots always look better in slow motion. It is as simple as that. There's something when you are in the air, it's look better in slow motion, always. Another thing, when you pick your drone, always have a screen on your remote. You don't want to have to connect your phone on this. It's just a nightmare. You got connection trouble. It's longer to prepare because you have to set up your phone under it, connect it, find the cable, and open the app. It never finish. Always get a remote with the screen. Very, very important. I will never go with a remote that don't have a screen again. My first drone, I had to connect my phone and it was a nightmare. Oh, make sure to do your backup every day. Or maybe at every flight if you have the time. Personally, I just did it every day. But you have to remember that every time you make that thing fly, maybe it's the last time you see it. I never lost one yet, but just remember, it may be the last time. Fly against the wind. If it's very windy and you ask yourself if you can make it fly or not, go against the wind, because if you go with it, you might not come back. While if you go against it, it will be easier to come back. Very important. There was one time the wind was so strong that when it remained on place, I'm not exaggerating, it was tough like that, just to fight against the wind to remain on place. That was quite incredible. Another thing that I see very often as a mistake for people that fly drone is that when they drive it, they constantly try to correct something. So you go forward and that would be better if I go a little bit on the right, and no, better on the left, and no. Go in the air, take the time to find something amazing, lock onto something, and just go. If you think that you can do a better shot, finish this one and restart. The best way to get the best footage with a drone is to stick to a movement. So this can be to just go forward, go on the right. Is it right or left? Whatever. You go into a direction. That can be to rewind. That can be to go forward. And no, there's a one that I do like. Is that when you go on the side? So for example, you go right, but you also pivot like this. And when you do that, you try to lock on an object that you can find in the screen, and you lock it in center. So you kind of move around the object when you do that. You always remain at the same distance, but you travel just like that. So if this is the object, I move kind of like that. So you do that by going like right and pivot left. But you really, really have to find the right speed and hold it like that, because every correction you do while you're flying just ruins the shot. You want something stable all the time. You can do 3 movements at the same time if you'd like, because you can also control the tilt of the camera. You can do that, but always go smooth. Go very smooth. You can do some correction if you go very, 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 very smoothly. So I had shot where I was going forward, going higher, and no, going forward, going lower, and tilt up. Amazing shots. Absolutely amazing shots. But always stick to your movement. That's the key for good footage on drone. And there's shot like this one that most people ask me, how did you do that? No, it's not the software of the drone that follow me. I'm driving it. Because what I do realize with those kind of software that are made to follow you is that it never produces great footage. Never. It's just too sensible. So it constantly do correction. That's the problem. So you really want to go at the same speed, always at the same time. So yes, I was driving my drone while I was cycling. That's the key. And it's not actually this difficult. The only thing you need to do is to, while you're stopped, you place your drone. For example, on this shot, I placed the drone next to me while I'm stopped, and then I start cycling, and then all I need to do, if you take a look at my hand, there is one that is on the handlebar, and the other one I did deposit my hand on my handlebar bag, so that was creating a stable area for my hand, and then I was just moving right. So I aim to that speed, and then I look at the screen. Am I center? Yes. Am I remaining center? Yes. Am I going too fast? Yeah, I'll go slowly. I center myself, and then I keep cycling at the same speed. That's why most of the time when we were doing this, Danny was behind me. Actually, no, sometimes it was in front. We were just keeping the same speed, us and the drone. And it's simple. It's not many things you have to do with the joystick. You just hold one single joystick. That's it. So that was not so hard to do. So that was for the drone. And carry a couple of batteries. That charger, 3 batteries, amazing. So I had 4 batteries. 1 in the drone, 3 in the charger. And actually I did pick the one that they sell that make the drone more heavier. I was still legal because that was Iceland, and the regulation is up to 24 kilograms, which is way more than it was with that one. All right, next one. The big cameras. The big cameras. What do we do with that? So, the main use of that was to film. No. The main use of that was to take pictures. Pictures are amazing. So if you have a good photo camera, you can take amazing pictures. And you take pictures of your friend or your partner that you're doing the adventure with. That's what you do with it. And never stage those pictures. Just take it while you don't know. Take it discreetly at some moment when he's asleep, when he is cycling, when he's preparing his tent, when he's doing something, anything. This is where you're gonna have the best pictures. And you can also do very good landscape pictures. I have some amazing pictures with that. You can take pictures of your bike, and pictures have something very special that can even be way better than videos. There's something special in photos. The lens that I did use, it's very personal. This is a this is a Sony G Master. Is it a G Master? Well, it's a G, so I guess it's a G Master. Whatever. It's a Sony lens. It's a 24 to 105 millimeters, and the aperture is stable at f4. No, not a big aperture, but we did go in Iceland in summer, so even at night, that was clear. At midnight, there is still sunlight. The sun was set, but there is still sunlight all the time. It was bright all the time. So f4 was totally fine. When you are outside most of the time, unless it's at night and it's dark, f4 is totally fine. You don't have that shallow depth of field, but at the same time, when you're doing landscape or when you're at 105 millimeters, you're totally fine. Totally fine. This is a Sony A7R4. Doesn't matter. Just pick a camera that you're comfortable with. If you have this kind of camera, you will take amazing picture. This one actually does take very, very large picture. I don't remember the megapixel in this one. I think it's around 50 or 60. That create amazing picture, that's for sure. Yeah, that's amazing for this. The other reason I use that is that when we have the time to stop, so for example, we stop at a picnic table, there's a bit of wind, I want to talk with my partner. We have some important stuff to say, talk about our experience. Set this on a tripod. I had a Joby tripod, it's not here. Whatever, you know what look. I'll look at Joby tripod, just set it on this and film ourselves. With that, I got a good audio quality. I got a better image quality because it's an amazing camera. When you have the time to capture something amazing, it's amazing to have an amazing camera. It creates something amazing when you have that time. So that's the last camera. That's the least important camera, but it brings something magical to the film. That's for sure. For the image quality, the sound quality, it brings it to another level. But still, this is the least important camera because I could have done those shots with another camera. And like I said before, the audio is more important than the image. It's fun to have the great image, but the audio is more important. So still, the essence of that shots would still have been totally fine with another smaller camera. And yeah, that's for the big camera. The Rythm. The idea of this chapter is to film every time. Every time you can film, do it. I said it at the beginning, but that's very important. Every occasion is a good occasion to take a video. So when we were riding, as I said, there was... Oh, that's not the right camera. There was the bite shot. So randomly, maybe every 15 minutes, take the camera out and film. The landscape change, the humor change, lots of things change. So while riding, bite shot.
其实这个手对，
Ouais, toi?
是吗？
Then something happened. Explain it. Explain it into your word. Maybe you will never use that shot, but when you will look at your footage, that will remember you something. That will give you the idea to make something about it. Maybe just use a couple of words. Maybe there will be a loft that will come out of this. There's some beautiful shots that I get. I was just filming us talking, and someone said something funny, and boom, we laugh. We've got a beautiful emotion shot. Was that the goal of when I did start filming? No, there was no goal. We were just talking. I was filming it. That's it. And boom, we got this shot. And that happened multiple times. So yeah, you have something to explain. Do it. If you are paused somewhere, just start a time lapse. Time lapse are amazing. You can see the clouds moving on. You can see the day passing. You can see the car passing. You can see so much thing that you don't see on a static shot. And the time lapse brings so much life on a landscape. It's just amazing. Do time lapse. If you actually, when we were stopping somewhere, we were choosing spots that was time lapseable. So we were not stopping, right there. No. Just wait a little bit. Oh yeah, here it's beautiful. Time lapse. Let's go. Now we can take a break. If you launch your drone, you're probably stopped for at least 20 minutes. The time you take your drone out, make it fly, do your shots, come back, put the drone back into to its bag and all that stuff. You're probably stopped for 20 minutes. Take the camera out. Time lapse. Every time you don't move, time lapse. That's it. Drone. You see something beautiful. Take the drone out. It's totally worth it. Take the drone out. Have the most drone shot possible. Maybe every time I launch the drone, I use only a couple of seconds of that, but those shots, totally worth it. And the most beautiful thing about that is that you can sell those shots. All of my drone shot, I do sell them on platform. I'll come back on this on another episode. But you can use it in your own video, but you can sell it to other people. There's people paying for those kind of shots. And yeah, take pictures. Take pictures. You see beautiful landscape? Stop. That is actually a quick use of that camera. It's longer to set up for video, but when this was actually in my handlebar bag, and when the landscape was great, I was stopping, take it out, take pictures, put it back in the bag. When you have something like this, forget about your cell phone. Stop taking cell phone pictures. When you look at it on your cell phone screen, they might look better on the cell phone than what you see over there. But when you take it at the end on big screen, you won't regret it. Actually, on the first days in Iceland, maybe I was taking more pictures with my cell phone because, that's look great. Yeah, but when at the end of the day, when I was transferring my file to the computer, they were not so much amazing when I enlarge it on my laptop screen. Those one, amazing. Take pictures with that. Forget your cell phone. Cell phone do great jobs, but when you compare it with what you have with that kind of camera, forget it. That's way better if you know how to use it. There's one kind of shots I did not do enough on that last expedition. Every time I do those kind of shots, I use it. Every single time because they look so good. You should do at least one every day. But it's frustrating to do because it takes a lot of time. When you see something beautiful, a beautiful landscape, stop. Find a place where to set your camera. That can be on the ground, on something. That can be on... a good one is road sign. You can use your Joby tripod, stick the camera onto it, frame it, film the road. and then go back. Go back of maybe 100, 150 kilometers and come back. Pass in front of the camera. You can act as if it's not there. You can say hello. You can do whatever you want. It always look good. And when you do that, keep riding after the camera. Because if you stop too fast when you're close to the camera, you will use the brake and that will show up. So just keep riding after the shot, and maybe 10 meters later after the camera, you can brake, come back, take the camera, and store everything. Every single time I made those shots, I used them many times. They are just amazing. Another one that I start doing with the drone is that, and that's a productive way to keep riding. As I told you earlier, I'm filming ourselves with the drone while riding. So at some point, we made 3, 4, 5 kilometers while riding and just make the drone follow us. So you do 4 or 5 kilometers and you're productive on your expedition and on filmmaking because you got amazing shots. Film. Just film, keep filming. You're gonna have a lot of footage and you will use a couple of seconds or maybe minutes of all of this. Okay, this one is very, very important. I'm freaking about this one. Backup. No, it's serious. Backup. You take a lot of pictures and anything can happen. It's electronic. It can fail. You can get it stolen. You can lose it. Anything can happen. Always have a backup of what you film. My rules is that I don't do backup in the day because we need to get forward. But at the end of the day, when I'm done filming in the tent, I do my backup. It can be in a tent, it can be at the hotel, it can be anywhere. At the end of the day, when you're done filming, do your backup. So you take every single camera, you remove the memory card, and you transfer it to your computer or to your external hard drive, SSDs. Forget about hard drive, they are too fragile for traveling. Use SSDs. It's faster, also use SSDs. Do backup. I'll leave with a lot of memory card. Actually, in my big cameras, there's 1 terabyte SD card. Yes, they are expensive. That's what I use. In smaller camera, I use 256 gigabytes memory card, but I think moving to a terabyte memory card. The reason behind this is that I will try to never delete what is on the memory card. And I will have memory card, so if my 1 terabyte is full, I can switch to the next one. Actually, on the last expedition, I think that was 2.25 terabyte of information, so I never need to switch a memory card, I believe. Maybe. But the thing is, don't delete the file on the SD card. That's the original file, and sometimes you can forget to transfer a file and have a copy on another device. And I go even further. A real backup is not with the original. The real backup is not with the original. You understand? And that's very hard when you are on an expedition. What I mean with that is that, for example, here, all of my expedition footage, I have it here in my office, but I also have it on the cloud. So, if I'm with Dropbox, if Dropbox go bankrupt, I have my data here. If Dropbox get hacked, I've got my data here. If I got stolen, I've got my data on Dropbox. If my house takes fire, I've got my data on Dropbox. If I had not Dropbox, I would have a hard drive at a parent house, at a friend's house, something, not at the same address. Never. So while you're traveling, that's hard. That's hard to get it to somewhere else. So every time I had the chance to have an internet connection, I was uploading on Dropbox. Actually, I would hand one copy and I was making a copy on the drive of my friend. So actually, at some point, I think we had 3 copies of everything. So that was kind of safe, except that everything was with us. But if I had my bag stolen and not his, we were fine. Not in the same bag, at least. Not on the same bike. That's better. Also, if you don't have access to internet, there's something you can do is to create a copy, put it on an SSD, and send it by mail to someone of your family, a friend, or someone you trust. And when you cut that copy, you can remove one from you. You don't delete the one you have. It's 2 different addresses. I'm really freaking out about this, but I never lost a shot. Never. So yeah, very important. Every single day, do your backup or you might regret it. Then, that's one other difficult part about filming your adventure. Recharging your equipment. If you sleep in an hotel at the end of the day, that's easy. You got everything you need to recharge. On the last expedition, we only slept in our tent, and most of the time, that was stealth camping in wild environment. So no electricity. So the trick was to rely on restaurant. So every time we stop at a restaurant, at the end, I make it clear with the staff, because at the beginning that was kind of awkward. That put us in a bit of an awkward position at the beginning. The server was kind of, will you order someday? So at the end, I was entering into the restaurant, get to the staff and ask, hey, we would like to eat here. Would you mind if we have a couple of things to recharge? They always say, that's fine. Always. We never get said no. But then we have a lot of things to charge. We will look like moving in. And we will need a bit of time to connect our stuff before we order. That might take 15 to 20 minutes, and then we will look at the menu and order our stuff. And then it's totally fine. You can set up your things. They know what you're doing, and everyone is happy. Everyone is happy. So that's the trick. When you're traveling, look for a restaurant, and at the end, you will become an expert at finding some outlet to charge your stuff. So you will find table next to an outlet. You will ask for that table. You go there. You install your stuff. And there is something very important you need to prepare before you leave. Well, of course, I'm in North America, so I use that kind of connector. I was in Iceland, they use that kind of connector, so I have this adapter. By the way, you don't need a converter for most of the electronical stuff. Because actually, we use 120 volt. They use 240, 220, or whatever in that area. Most of your stuff, when you look on the power supply that you connect, it will say that it's support from 100 volt to 240. Everything in that range, that's fine. Your MacBook Pro power supply, all of those stuff, they do that. If you take a hair dryer or that kind of heavy stuff, that's not working. You make it blow. So it's funny because it's just those connector that usually are between 100 and 120 volt, they make it 240 volts because it's connected into a 240 volts. And there is no conversion. That become a very high voltage connector, but that's totally fine. You can connect. Look before. If you take that, you look over here, it will say somewhere that it can handle all of that. Input 100 to 240 volts. It's written right there. And most of them do that. Make sure it's right before to connect it because you can make it blow otherwise. But that was fine. So that's an amazing one. So you don't have to have many converter because everything is compatible. But USB-C connection, USB connection, whatever. You need a good quality device. This is not one. That one I was using it mostly for those. Those are slow connector. I find this device, it's an Anker Prime 747. There's 3 USB-C connection. They are very fast. Seriously, the difference between this and this is charging all of my stuff in less than 3 hours and about 24 hours. Seriously, this is this big. Especially when it comes to the drone battery, they are huge, they need a lot of energy, and this charge so slowly. The difference is really huge, so you need a very good charger. I also recommend to have a good battery pack. Again, you need fast charging. This one is huge. It's 27,650 milliamp hours. That's the maximum you can bring on an airplane. And it can fully charge in a bit more than an hour. And it can charge your device also fast. You don't have the time to wait a long time. When you're at home and you charge your stuff and you have all night, it doesn't change anything. But when you're traveling, you want something that can charge fast so we can move on. It's very important. I also carry batteries. So for that camera, I have the battery inside and I have 3 more batteries. For that camera, I have a battery inside, I have 2 more batteries and the charger. For that camera, it comes with that guy here. Not the best setup, but that works. For the drone, I have the battery inside the drone and I have 3 more batteries. So yeah, rule of thumbs, 3 to 4 batteries for every camera. So that way you can go for a while. Very important. So multi-connector, get used to the region you go, battery backup. Don't forget the charger for your device. And recharge in the restaurant. That was it. I hope all of this was helpful. If you have any question, you can leave comment in the description, and not the description, in the comment area. If you need help, I do one-on-one formation. I can help you. Send me an email. My email is at the bottom of the description. Always. Please do not contact me just for a quick question. The comment is here for that. I look at it every day and I answer most of them. But if you want a one-on-one training, that's the kind of stuff that I do. Eventually, maybe I'll add a link if I do it. I maybe do a most advanced training. That was like an intro. There's a lot of stuff that I can add. And I really like to do one-on-one training. So if you are interested to that, talk to me and we'll see what I can do for you and what's the price. And yeah. So yeah, I hope this was helpful. And I hope to see you in another video. Take care. See ya.